Hey y'all, I'm Toya, and I'll be investigating the business of everyday people like you and I. And this is Dr. Nikkisha. She'll be checking in on your heart. Tam here will be enlightening you with fun facts you didn't even know you needed. She's just nerdy like that. I had the pleasure of getting in the business of the owner of Allegra's Rain Healthcare Solutions and Amethyst Education Services. Let's take a look. Hey y'all, welcome to the show. We have Miss Allegra on
Yes.
today.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me.
We appreciate it. Allegra has been a nurse for 26 years.
Yes.
She is the owner of Allegra's Rain Healthcare Solutions and Amethyst Education Services.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, Allegra, I'm about to get in your business.
Oh,
In your
my
business.
goodness. Oh, my goodness. Yes.
Tell me about the journey to your business.
Whew. The journey started, I would probably say, about 15 plus years ago. I actually wanted to become a doctor, and I'm married to 2 kids later, and I said, hey, I'll take the route of being a nurse. I'm still in healthcare. And I just kept getting, of course, you get that vision. It's like, it's time, it's time. And I was like, I'm not ready, right? I'm not ready. I'm not ready to do this thing. And God was like, oh, no, we're going to do this. And so when it was brought about in 2021, actually, I say manifested in 2021, it was like, it's time right now. And I still was kind of like, I'm not ready. I'm so used to being a travel nurse and being in the hospital and being hands-on in that manner. Although I did some education, throughout, and I was a coordinator that continued the education. It was just like, it's time to do this on your own. It's really time. And I was like, okay, so what is it that I'm supposed to do? I need you to teach the community. I need you to teach the community how to care for themselves. I need you to teach the community just the basic necessity of life changes. So I said, let's do it. And that's where I'm at now.
I love it.
Yes.
So what is it that your business provides to the community?
Oh, great question. So Allegra's Rain Healthcare Solution actually started off as the growth of the education process. So when I developed it, it was, let's go out, let's teach basic life care, and give those resources, CPR, first aid, PCA, DSP, medication management, those things. And then I met with some great individuals that say, okay, let Allegra's Rain be the umbrella to everything that you need to do, but I need you to name the school. So then Amethyst Education was formed, and that became the business that coordinates all of the care. Allegra's Rain became more of the consultation and management. So I said, okay, as a nurse and I'm seeing in the hospital, you're newly, let's just say for an example, I've taken care of someone that's newly diagnosed with diabetes. We teach them in the hospital how to care for themselves, but we don't provide the resources outside, right? We don't really help to teach the families or their loved ones how to care for them. If you came into the hospital and you say, oh my God, I'm newly diagnosed diabetes, what do I do from there? So Allegra's Rain helps to coordinate that. What we're doing now is coming together as a community, linking with doctors' offices and assisted livings and nursing homes and saying, hey, this person's got out of the hospital. We'll come in and we'll help to coordinate their plan of care, working along with the physicians, and help them to better understand what diabetes is, what their nutrition is, what their exercise is. It's just not diabetes and checking blood sugar, right? It's more than that. So that's what we provide.
And only you could see the need for that because of what you went through.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. And being in healthcare, like I said, for 26 years and seeing the suffering in the community, where lack of education is a lack of knowledge, right? So if we don't bring that piece and that tool and to help them, it won't pull it all together. That's my thought.
Yes. Okay, so not only are you serving the patient, you're helping the individuals who are part of the community, which continues the positive cycle of growth.
Yes.
So for the community on so many levels. So I'm trying to wrap my mind around it because I'm new to the field.
Yes.
So basically you can teach one part and it's like trickling down.
Absolutely.
For like so many
it's like a domino effect, like you said. So if I teach you here, it just kind of rolls down here because I'm not just teaching you. I'm teaching the ones that are your loved ones. I'm teaching those who are going to be caring for you, how to properly care for you. See, we can go into the home and I can change a diaper,
Mhm.
right? I can make a bed, right? But why am I, let's just say I can turn you. I want them to think of the rationale to why
Yes.
certain things are being done. So if I have a bed-bound patient, the reason why we turn them every 2 hours is we don't want to develop bed sores. So I want them to know that part.
Yes.
It's always the rationale behind it. And so again, it is a domino effect. Yes.
Yes. So who qualifies for your program?
Oh my goodness. So the qualifications for my program, you must be 18 years of age and older. You must be able to read and write English. And of course, you come into my program, you have to make sure you have none of the barrier crimes, which is located on my on my website. Those barrier crimes that will prevent you from being a caretaker.
Okay.
Right. But pretty much anyone, if you come up today and you say, Allegra, I'm interested in learning CPR first aid, right? Then the thought is you have to be in the medical field to know CPR first aid, but that's not true. The community as a whole should know. So if you have your family, your husband, and your children in a home, and something happens, they choke, and you're like, oh my God, well, the first thing we do is start beating them on the back, but it's more to it. What if they pass out? You need to know CPR, right? You need to know how to save their life, right? Or at least attempt, and that's the thing. That's the thing.
Okay. Right? So how do you balance family and running a business?
Ooh, baby. That's a great question. That was the part in my, when I say in my soul journey. Because, of course, most of us know when you have a business, you're a professional, you shouldn't have a life outside of it, right? No, so I had to find balance. I had to find that peace within self. So I look at me first. I'm the most important in this whole, when we say this whole pyramid, right? It has to be about me first. So I have to balance that, who I am, what I enjoy doing, and understand that my personal life is outside of the business life. But they do conjoin. So I think about that. I do have to take the time in the moment when I'm doing my schedule and say, okay, I have time for this, I have time for that. If I don't, I don't. So I'm not afraid of saying that. Yes.
Do you have a lot of outside support?
I do. When I first started, it's so crazy you asked that. When I first started, this was kind of a single journey, right? I had my 2 daughters and my aunt. They are amazing. Oh my gosh, they are amazing. And helping me build this business. The business is built really blood, sweat, and tears. Everything that I have right now, I worked for and provided. And then God sent me those who would change my life and change my business thoughts and my personal thought. And I would never think, I would say, thank you, God, right? Meeting up and connecting with those who are going to be a part of my team. And so I get excited because I say, you are a part of my team. So I absolutely have great support system. Yes.
What obstacles did you face during the process?
Financial. Financial was the huge obstacle. Healthcare is very lucrative. We know that. But getting started is very, very tough. And like I said, a lot of the things that I put into my business, I worked and put my income into. And baby, when I said I was ready to wave the white flag. And my team said, you can't stop. This is bigger than you. You don't understand. This is a calling. I need you to be present. And so what can we do? How can we help? Even if it's just to come, we'll buy paper, we'll buy pens. So yes, the financial part of it was the hardest. I knew what I needed to do. I didn't quite know how to structure it. So of course, again, connecting with those who could structure it. But I could close my eyes. I tell people all the time, I could close my eyes and I could do nursing. Like it's like just sleep, right? For me. But building a business and understanding the business and keeping the business going was the part I had to understand and learn. So
What advice do you have for others trying to get started?
Don't stop. That's what I would say. Don't stop. If it was placed in your mind, it was placed in your spirit, and it's placed in your heart, God gave it to you. You got to keep going, right? Even when it feels like there's nowhere else to turn, right? You have to keep going because, again, we have to be able to bring the community back, right? It's huge. And I always think, someone told me, stop thinking small. And I said, well, what do you mean? Stop thinking small, baby. This is on a global level. So now that's what I say. This is a global thing. So, yes, I would tell people, don't stop. Connect with those who can assist you. I'm here, right? If if you're looking to get into anything within the healthcare field, I'm here. I have had a lot of individuals have connected with me that have gone to say, I'm going to do this now, Allegra. When I saw you inspired me to open up a home health, you inspired me to open up a assisted living, and I'm so grateful for that. Yes, yes.
All right. Well, we appreciate what you're doing over here at Hill with
you.
us. Thank you for letting me get in your business.
It won't too personal. I'm fine with that. Thank you, Toya. I appreciate that. Yes, yes. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much. Here with us three. My name is Allegra Lewis, owner of Allegra's Rain Healthcare Solutions and Amethyst Education Services. And on this day, my team to their team, we will be sponsoring them, and we're excited. Thank you again for the invite, and we cannot wait to see more and more community build and everything you guys have going on. We're excited, and thank you.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
that was
you.
really
I love
good.
that.
Very informative.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Allegra.
So this is Dr. Nikkisha Bell-Griffin, and y'all know what I'm going to ask. How's your heart? So today, ladies, I want to continue the conversation about nursing, our communities, and I kind of want to get into your business a little bit. Okay, so tag teaming my sister here. I want to ask you a question. I'll start with you, Toya. As a child, what components of your community were most beneficial?
I think definitely school, because I was all over everything. Like if they offered it, I signed up for it. So I think school for me.
Okay, so why was that beneficial? Why do you think it helped?
I think I just always had amazing leaders around me, and I don't know how, but they would see something in me and like, okay, you should try this, or like I ended up doing gymnastics. It was so random for me, just because based on somebody saying you should try this, and had a great time doing it.
Okay, that's awesome. So it gave you an opportunity to explore your gifts and interests.
Yes.
Okay, I love it. How about you, Miss Tam? As a child, what components of your community were most beneficial?
I would have to say, actually, it's kind of two combined in one. The bookmobile and libraries.
I
forgot about the
bookmobile.
I love the bookmobile because I love to
Yes.
read, and I have a big imagination, and I'm just now finding out I have a big voice. But yeah, so the bookmobile and the library were the two.
Very instrumental.
Yes.
Okay, I'm so glad you brought that up because I completely forgot about the bookmobile, and that was something I truly enjoyed. Yes. So for me, I kind of have to piggyback on Toya, but it's so funny because I have two. So one of my greatest or most beneficial components in regards to community was actually pre-K. So, going to Head Start was my first experience in school, and I think I enjoyed it more than when I transitioned to public school, because when I went to public school, I didn't have my sister, pre-K, we were both able to go together. So it was like, okay, we can learn this new thing and have at least each other while we're exploring. But, public school, I started before you. But anyway, I think for me.
Yes. You remember pre-K?
I do.
I have no memory of it.
I can remember the bus pulling up.
I remember
the bus. Getting on it wasn't even a bus. It was a van.
Wow.
So the van, it was a tannish colored van or something. And it came, and our mom walked us, put us up there. And I remember the first day and everything, because I was like, why is she putting us on this strange van?
In our old neighborhood.
In our old neighborhood. Yes, I remember this. I remember this. So, but for me, I think what was such a blessing is that for me, it was like the consistency, the routine, the structure. I thrived off of that because it was something that was kind of lacking in my life. So it kind of just gave me a sense of, I guess, like safety, oh, I know what to expect. I know what's going to happen when I come here. I know we're going to sing our little prayer before we eat our snack, and we're going to take a nap. And, so that really just, I think, kind of gave me a little, stabilized my foundation a little bit more. And then I would say the other component, and Toya, you better remember this, was also kind of similar. It was a bus, but it wasn't a school bus. It was the church bus.
Oh, I definitely.
So they came out, and I had to be around
Word
11
of
or
life.
12.
Yes,
yes,
I remember Word of Life.
Yes.
On the corner of
on the corner, yes.
What is it? Princess Anne Road and
Yes,
Haven Parkway.
yes,
Mhm.
yes. So for me, that was like instrumental because it was kind of like me kind of seeking out my own spirituality
Mhm.
on my own without being forced to go
Forced,
to church,
yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
because your parents are making you go and it's your
Mhm.
family church. And I'm gonna stop right there.
Okay.
But yeah, so for me, that kind of is where I learned that I love God's word and I
Mhm.
love worship, you know, like
Mhm.
so those two were very instrumental for me. And I don't know if they stopped coming or we just stopped going.
I think the church was just
Just stop,
it
just
stopped.
yeah,
It just
yeah.
But I
stopped.
think
Something
that
happened.
Gateway, like
Yeah,
Christian
Yeah,
church,
we
maybe
started
switched to
coming
Gateway.
after.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
could have been it. We switched. Yeah,
Mhm.
but for me, that was very instrumental in my
Wow.
my spiritual growth and just again providing some sense of safety
Mhm.
and normality in my life.
I do
So-
Well,
remember
child,
that.
the only thing I remember is kindergarten, and the only thing I remember about that is Duck Duck Goose.
Wow.
Oh, that was
I
fun.
don't even remember my teacher's
Mhm.
name.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
just
think I can
it's
remember
just
my
a
teacher's name
blur.
That's
either.
probably
Yeah.
what started my anxiety, Duck Duck Goose.
Oh, Lord.
Yes.
Not Duck Duck Goose.
Yes.
You like
Like,
chasing your
please, I
friends
don't want
around
to
in
be
a
me,
circle.
don't pick me. No.
That is so funny. So I'm gonna flip it. What components of your community do you feel were most harmful?
The most harmful. I probably being stuck in the one community, like not seeing anything outside of it really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's good.
I would have to say no one pouring into the community. There were no outreach
Yeah.
programs that were coming in.
Yeah.
If you did hear about an outreach program for kids, it was word of mouth.
Right.
So I would have to say no one pouring in.
Yeah, that's good. That's
Which
good.
is probably why we like Word of Life so much.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I agree with both of y'all. I think, and to me, I think what was just
Because
as
didn't
harmful.
they come? I'm sorry, I didn't mean
No,
to
go
cut you
ahead,
off, but
that's okay.
didn't Word of Life come to door to door?
Yeah, they
did.
did.
In
They
record
did.
at
They
least.
did.
Okay.
They did. Yeah.
Oh, you
they
mean to
did.
tell us about it in the beginning?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I do
yeah.
remember that.
Yeah.
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 We had to have a permission slip. They
Yeah.
had to come snatch your kids.
Right. Exactly.
Yes, I do remember
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So I agree with both of you ladies. I can relate to just feeling like confined to, you know, just that immediate environment and not really experiencing anything outside of that. And for me, I think it was worse because I wasn't really active in school. Like I could care less about a sports or anything like that. I mean, I was very, you know, I love to study, but I mean, how many clubs they got for that, you know? So it was really hard for me to even field trips. Like I didn't go on a field trip my whole elementary years, all 6 of those, because that's when elementary went up to 6th grade.
That's how old we are.
Yeah, that's how old we are. But yeah, I think that kind of kept me in a box a little bit, just like you said, lacking those experiences. And then, like you said, nobody pouring into you, no one coming out and just, you know, saying, I see you, you matter, you know. There's other things out here for you. So yeah, I think that was very harmful. In addition to just some of the safety issues that we experienced, you know. So yeah, having to have really good friends and peers dying, you know, at very, you know, a young age and because of violence and, you know, foolishness. But yeah, I think that was definitely the main 3 components. So now let's flip it. As an adult, how have you contributed to your community? How have you kind of given back?
I think so I got little things, I guess. Like I remember reading story time for the kids, like all my kids in school. I went until they didn't allow it anymore. Like yeah, they know how to read by themselves now. We don't need you to read. So I do remember that's probably like one of the main things, and just being involved with anything they had going on in school.
Yeah, that's good. How about you?
I'm kind of embarrassed to answer this. I haven't.
So I think you probably have, and you just don't realize some of the things you've done. So for instance, for me, I'm really big on, and I try to teach my children this too, donating.
Like, well, I do donate,
yeah, so
like my clothes.
Giving back that's giving back to the community.
Okay, well then, okay. Well, each season, I go through my closet and I donate specifically to CHKD, Children's Hospital of the King's Daughters.
Talk about it. But yeah, for me, it's Samaritan House.
Okay.
Because they have the domestic violence shelter and homeless shelter and women and children. So that's one of my top donation centers. And sometimes when I'm being lazy, I'm gonna be honest, I'll just go to a Goodwill because I feel like that's helping too. Because some people can't afford to buy name brand or whatever, because I don't always get name brand stuff, but just decent looking clothing at a reasonable price. So they do thrifting, and I love thrifting.
I'm trying to think of something real good now. Do hugs count? Because I give a lot of
yes,
hugs out.
that does. It actually does. That's a part of relationship building and reconnecting and all of those things. So believe it or not, you're laughing, but there are people who are feel very lonely and isolated, especially after COVID. There's still people who are having a hard time kind of re-emerging into the community. So taking walks with your neighbors, hugging, and just saying hi, simple things like that is actually
That's actually a
contributing.
profession.
Yeah. Oh, that's a profession?
Professional hugging.
I mean,
I just heard about profession. I don't know if it was called that, but one of my coworkers said you are supposed to hug someone for at least I don't know. She gave me a time frame, like a minute or something. I don't know, for it to actually be effective. I was like, I didn't know
They
that.
pay people to hug and cuddle.
Well,
really?
I'm very professional. If anyone is looking,
I know, right?
My family
That'll
is
be a
sick
nice,
of me,
nice
so
little side hustle. Exactly. Okay. Yes, that's funny. Did not know that. Thank you. So I'm just curious, how does that come about? Toya wants to be a professional hugger.
Just go on Indeed.
Okay.
And I will be.
Indeed.com.
I will be.
All right. Yes. All right. Thank you, ladies.
Sure.
So my final question for you is, how would you encourage others to get involved in making their community better, especially based on, some of the things we talked about as far as, what was lacking in our own experiences?
I think just having a conversation, just speaking to somebody and asking them how their day is can start it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I agree. Going into the community and just talking with the people, they live that every day, day in, day out. Ask them what they're lacking. Ask them what they would like to see in their community.
Yeah.
That's the start.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I was going to end with. Basically, the best way to support our community is to just figure out what the needs are. Figure out the needs, and then you don't have to have a certain title or position to be a large contributing factor to nursing your community. I mean, it's just about showing up and giving your own time and gifts and talents, whether it's just hugging others, or some of us really do have a gift of encouragement, or we're really good at events and pulling together community. I mean, because I remember my community one year had this huge community yard sale, and I thought it was amazing because we got to know each other. So just the simplest things can be a great way to just bring people back together and help people connect and meet some needs that are being overlooked. So I just encourage all of you to just take the time to pour into others, because you showing up can last a lifetime. It can last beyond just your lifetime. It can touch and impact generations to come. So that's my tidbit for today. And yes, until next time, remember to guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it comes the issues of life. Peace.
So, welcome to the Nerd's Corner. Come on over here, get nice and cozy and snuggle up. The weather outside today, we need to snuggle because it's just a gloomy, dreary day today. So I have one question for you guys. What do you do with your unused, expired prescription drugs or over-the-counter drugs like Tylenol or Aleve? What do you do with them once you're done? You throw them in the trash. What say you?
I don't want to say, because I just found out it's really bad, but I used to flush them.
Oh.
Which is terrible, awful.
Well, that's what I'm going to talk about today.
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone, please don't do like Toya and
Oh,
flush
no.
them.
It's bad.
Please don't.
Lord.
Please don't. Okay. So I want to talk about how to correctly dispose of prescription medication as well as over-the-counter medication. And also bring awareness to the National Day of Prescription Drug Take Back. It happens every year on April 27th. You can contact your local government facilities, police office or police stations to figure out where they're going to have these kind of camps set up that you can actually drive your medication there and take it, and they will dispose of it correctly. But like I said, it happens on the 27th of every year. That's National Drug Take Back Day. It's been going on for 26 years now.
Wow, never heard of it.
And so I want to give you some numbers to kind of help you really understand what this particular act is and how it's helping the community. And this is done nationwide, okay? So since this has started 26 years ago, this National Day of Drug Take Back, the total amount of law enforcement participation is 4,607 different law offices, like police stations, have participated in this day. A total of 4,869 collection sites have been created on this day for people to bring their expired prescriptions and drugs to dispose of correctly. The amount that they have collected to date, 670,136 pounds of medication, or 335 tons of medication. But I'm going to take it another step, because why? I'm a nerd, okay? I love numbers, okay? So the total weight collected over the 26 years, 18,570,487 pounds, or 9,285 tons in 26 years.
Wow.
I just like to let that sink in. Okay, so how do we dispose of this? But first, let me get into these take back events. So like I said, these take back events, like I said, you can contact your local city, your government, your county, to figure out where these sites are going to be set up on these days. And sometimes they'll have, if it's needed, and with the opioid epidemic going on, they have these sites set up more than just that one particular day they designated for this drug take back. I know in my county, two of the precincts, the police precincts, if you walk into the precinct, there's this white, it looks like an oversized US mailbox, but it's white. And it has it labeled up there, prescription take back. And you can just drop your bottles, keep them in the bottles, just drop them right in there, and they'll dispose of them correctly. From what I know, if I'm not mistaken, they incinerate them the same way that they would do like human remains, cremation, but it's incinerated, and it's less harmful to the environment and our waterways, which I'm going to talk about in a bit. But when you take your medications to these facilities to dispose of them, please remove the label, meaning your name on there, the prescription number, and just try to take that whole label off if you can. But keep the pills in the bottle with the top. Don't try to pour the pills in a bag. No, just take the label off the bottle, put it in the bag, and just put it in these designated bins that they have. And it's right in the front. Usually when you walk into their lobby, it's right. You cannot miss it. It's a huge metal box. So I also want to talk about ways that you should dispose of them if you are not going to take them to a prescription take back site. Okay. So the things that you don't want to do, let's get there first. Number one on my list, please don't flush them. Don't flush them. We don't want those in our waterways because it affects the waterways. So every county and every city should have a waste treatment plant that treats our water. And believe it or not, fun fact, the water that comes out of our faucets today was here on Earth before the dinosaurs. So it's recycled, regenerated water, and that's how long the water that we use today have been around. Fun fact. Okay, back to the subject. So, many of the drugs are getting past our waste, and our waste treatment plants are getting into our drinking water. And it's funny because you always hear that statement, it must be something in the water. Literally, it is.
Wow.
Literally, it is. Okay. So scientists with the United States Geological Society have conducted a study of more than 130 rivers, streams, and other waterways in the U.S. And in 80% of that water tested, they found the following drugs. In this water samples they tested: antibiotics, antidepressants, seizure medication, cancer treatment medication, painkillers, tranquilizers, and birth control.
Okay.
So I don't care what nobody say, I believe with all this, crime and people just walking around just doing weird things, it's in the water because unbeknownst to people, they don't know how to correctly dispose. So they're flushing their antidepressants down the drain. But we wonder why depression is rampant. We wonder why ADHD and ADD in adults. Forget the kids. They done populated the kids enough, but now it's affecting adults. And all these just weird behaviors that's going on is because all of this, the prescription are being flushed down into our waste system, and our waste treatment plants can't filter out but so much.
Wow, that's scary.
Sewer treatment. So sewer is also connected. If you flush the prescriptions down the drains, they're not equipped to remove these drugs effectively. And the drugs are pollutants in various bases of types of chemicals in the drugs, and it makes controlling the removing of the pollutant very difficult when they're flushed. Waste treatment plants do not remove all medication or toxins. The treatment plants are only designed to remove solid bacteria and pathogens. So they're not designed to remove the chemicals from the drugs that are being flushed into our waterways. Okay, so the way that you do want to dispose of it, like I said, April 27th every year, they have, and it's nationwide, they have the National Prescription Drug Take Back. You just have to contact your county or your city to see where the sites are. But the dues, you want to return any unwanted or expired prescription and over-the-counter drugs to these programs, or I'm going to give you some steps that you can follow. Also, I want to say that if you can't, find any of these sites, or maybe they don't really talk about it in your county, Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid always take back unused, expired prescription drugs, always. So if you can't find one of these sites, please know that you can take it to one of those pharmacies that I listed, and they will dispose of the medications properly.
You said unused, so what if someone just has extra, leftovers, but it's expired? Will they take that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Expired, unused.
Okay.
Yeah. So I talked about, I'm going to give you some samples of how to dispose of household drugs, meaning Tylenol, ibuprofen, aspirin, cold medication, those type of things. So you can mix these particular drugs in undesirable substance. And what I mean by that, like cat litter or coffee grounds. You can mix it in there. And then you can put it in a container with a lid, any type of container with a lid. Preferably, I hope you're not still using plastic, because we talked about that already, but or you could put it in a sealable sandwich bag, okay? And then conceal it, remove your personal information. Like I said, rip that label off. You don't want your name on there, and you don't want that prescription number on there, because somebody can get that number, call the pharmacy, act like they're you, and tell the pharmacy, hey, I want to refill this prescription and give them the number and they'll fill it. Let's see. You also want to kind of mark, or if you can't remove that label, because sometimes they're up there really good, take a permanent marker and wipe through it, or you can take some hand sanitizer and rub it on that label, and it will rub off the ink on the tapey stuff. Okay. Or you can get some duct tape or electrical tape and cover it, so that they can't get to the information. Okay. Or they can't scratch it off. Then like I said, you put them in that sealed container, and then you can, place them in the trash can that way. Because, coffee grounds, they do so much. Like they deodorize, they make good, you can scrub stuff with them, like, get residue and stuff off because of, not only the acidic nature in the grounds, but just them being rough, so those are some things, some ways that you can dispose of your medications properly. But like I stated, if you can't get to a police station or precinct, take them to the pharmacies, the commercial pharmacies, CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens. They will always accept them. Just let them know, hey, I have some expired or unwanted prescription drugs that I would like to dispose of correctly. Please do not flush them down the toilet.
I'm not going to do it.
Also, I want to talk about how it affects the animals. I mean, people don't think about that. Like with our fish, it's causing them to, it's affecting their reproductive. So have y'all noticed that you go in the store and, you don't really quite buy your fish this one particular time fresh. So you go and you look, oh, farm raised. And it's like, oh, I wonder what that means. That means that there's so many chemicals, not only prescription drugs, but other chemicals in the waterways that has affected the fish being able to reproduce. So now people have a resort to creating farms, or we won't have fish. We won't have fish to eat. Also, the drugs affect their behavior. They'll affect their behavior. Just like it affects humans, it affects the animals and the fish behavior. And it not only affects fish, but you got to think about ducks. You got to think about birds. The animals drink the water, so it just affects their behavior, which jeopardizes their natural born instincts to function in the wild. So I just wanted to kind of bring those things up. Once again, please don't flush your medicines down the drain. Just don't do it. That's just like throwing batteries away in the trash can. Don't do that either. There are ways and sites as well as, the prescription drug sites. There are sites to dispose of batteries and all those other type of toxic things. So just remember that every time you turn on that water, which I'm hoping everybody doesn't drink tap water, but if you have to drink tap water, just remember when you flush those pills down that toilet, it's being recycled back into the water that comes out of the faucet. So just be mindful.
Okay.
And that's all I have.
Yeah. Thank you. That
Sure.
was scary.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. I'm just trying to be informative.
Is that going to affect my skin? I mean,
yes.
So many things. I'm
Yes.
thinking about now.
You think about all the things now that's coming out in science and medical from, women experiencing alopecia.
Right.
And you think about it, it's like the circle of life. This stuff is in the water, the animals drink the water, or they feed the animal the water, or they take this water and they water the plants. We're eating the plants.
Right. Yeah.
It's not just, people harp up on, stop eating red meat. No, but it's also the vegetables.
Right.
And it's not just the pesticide.
Yeah.
It's the water that we're watering because they need water to grow, and then it affects the soil.
Yeah.
So,
many
it's a lot of things from Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
That's rampant now. Prostate cancer in African American community. It's all of it kind of stems back to anything that you flush down the toilet just remember the waste treatment plant can only do but so much to filter that water.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you for educating us.
sure.
Very good.
No problem.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Heal with Us.
And remember, healing is a process, so take it one day at a time. And remember, healing is a process, so take it one day at a time.
And remember that we are located across all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Apple Podcasts. You can also email us at healwithus3@gmail.com with any questions, show suggestions, or just to say hi.
Heal with us.
Heal with us. In your business.